So in order to better communicate to children, we need to educate ourselves about gears, about hair. So this means we're going to go right back to the beginning of evolution of the hair.
Yeah, so in like physics, we all have probably heard of the law that energy isn't wasted, it's only transferred. So just like in biology, we've got laws, right? So one law is that the structure relates to function. So for example, the structure is the eye, and what does the eye do? We see, right? So that's the function. We have legs, that's the structure, and the function is for movement. So for gears, we have the same concept that we have gears, which is the structure, and then we have the function.
Okay, so as there's different types of hairs in the body, does that mean that hair has more than one function then?
Yeah, so like you've probably noticed that your eyebrow hair is different to, say for example, your arm hair and the hair on your head. So they all do play different functions. So for example, you see your eyebrow hair, it grows to the side, right? Compared to your eyelashes, which grow outwards. So this is because your eyelashes, they need to be able to prevent any dust from coming into your eye. So it's a protectant against any like pathogens coming into your eye and causing irritation. In the same way with your eyebrows, it grows to the side because that's the best way it can trap sweat or anything running from your forehead to go into your eyes. So if it was just like our eyelashes, where the hair grows downwards, then it's actually facilitating the sweat to go into your eye, and that's why it's sideways, because it needs to go against the direction it's going into your eye. So yeah, they do have different functions. Another one is, for example, nose hair. We've got lots of nose hair inside our respiratory system, and that's because when we inhale, we're actually inhaling a lot of pathogens or air contaminants, and our hair needs to trap that, and we turn it into mucus and expel that. So it's as a protective reason that we have these different types of gears all over our bodies.
And it's interesting that every body has different types of hair in those different areas. So some have unibrow, some have different shapes and stuff. But that's the miracle of God. He's decided that actually this person's going to have more nostril hair or less nostril hair and so on.
Yeah, I think that really just adds to the beauty that we're all different. And
we're all different. Yeah. We're all supposed to be different.
Yeah.
There's also gears in your ear. So in the cochlea, there's microscopic, really thin, tiny hairs. And they also work in playing a part of hearing. So they start vibrating and then they send it to sensory stimuli inside your ear, so then you'll be able to hear. So it's an amazing.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And it's like it contributes to your hearing.
Yeah.
It's actually, those hair has a function. It's helping your ears, just like the nose one's helping your nose, which is one of your senses, and these ones are helping your eyes.
Yeah, your sight.
Yeah, they're all like little soldiers for the different, like you're saying, that they're the actual do bit, the structural bit.
Yeah, it's our basically first line of defence, and if we don't have that, then how can we hear or how can we see, effectively? And just going on to the hearing, our body basically doesn't produce anything that isn't waste. So, for example, like why would we grow hair if it didn't have a function, right?
Yeah. So you wouldn't see nobody like trying to remove the hair from your ear.
Oh yeah,
from
your
remove
ear.
the hair from your nose.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like ridiculous, isn't it? Like you wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So in that way, our hair also communicates to us. So like for example, in the fight and flight response, when for example you're cold, your hairs, you start to shiver, right, and your hairs stand on end and you get goosebumps. And our body is basically trying to generate more heat, more warmth. And how it does that is by the erectile muscle in your skin. It makes your hair contract and it stands on end, and then it vibrates. And within each of those gaps in the hair, when they vibrate, it produces energy, and that warmth is what generates us to produce heat. And that's how we basically keep warm as a defense mechanism from being cold.
It's really interesting, that one, that where the hair stands up. Sometimes when you get a phone call, that's some bad news or something like something. Mine stand on edge. And I don't instruct it.
Yeah,
I don't tell it stand on edge. It literally just stands on edge. So it happens by itself. So it really shows you that the hair is alive.
Yeah.
And it's responding to something that you and I don't have any control over. So your nervous system, it's almost like the jaw inside you, that God element, the God, is controlling that. And it does stand up, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And it's designed to protect you.
And our hair, like, they literally talks inside without us knowing that it's talking. It's communicating with these muscles that we've just spoken about. It's communicating with nerves. It's communicating with blood vessels. There's so much communication that we don't actually understand is going on between our hair and the rest of our body. So it's not waste. It's actually communicating, and it is very much alive.
So when we look at energy, if you focus on that one, so you say energy, but can you elaborate further on what you mean by energy?
Yeah, so for example, there's a paper that was released, and it was quite interesting, like the findings that they found. They basically got a skin graft, and one had like shaved hair on it, the others had just a full set of hair. And they
so
got
this is an individual, so we've got I'm assuming it's a white Caucasian male, female that's got a lot of hair on their body, you know, front chest hair and hair on their head, and then you've got another male that's maybe got less hair.
Yeah,
bald.
And that's basically how it is. And obviously in each different ethnicities they produce different like textures of hair. So for example, if you're of a darker ethnicity, you'll have like coarser, thicker hair, and if you're like Caucasian, you'll have very thin hair, and just contributes to how diverse we really are as well. And yeah, the study basically got a machine which struck the skin grafts with electricity, and they were able to get the information about how much energy those skin grafts could.
So they measured it.
Yeah, could.
So this person is we're looking at this person individually who's got a lot of hair, and we're looking at another person who has no hair, and we're measuring how much energy they are accumulating.
Yeah. And they basically found that about almost 40% more energy absorbed compared to the graft that didn't have any hair. And what the findings are basically trying to conclude is that, for example, a guy has a beard, right? They grow beards. And basically in evolutionary times when they had to fight, they had these beards to protect themselves. So it gets all the energy, and it's get absorbed into that area of the chin, and it prevents them from being damaged. But they will still get damaged, but the energy, because it's absorbed quite a bit of energy, the damage won't be as much compared to someone who doesn't have that much.
Just thinking about that now, so our children have got energy about them,
Yeah.
and we want them to have that energy and retain that energy, you know, we want that energy. And then when we cut it, we're decreasing their energy levels ultimately, and the same as us as adults as well. So by removing that, it must, you know, it is obviously because the science, the experiment is telling you that by removing it, you're reducing, you know, that energy inside you that's being contained.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing to think about it like that.